Tip minimums are an absolute must in my business. Let me explain why, okay? When I first started my mobile bartending business, you guys, there were some events that we would travel to and we would literally leave with $30. This was rare, okay? I would say like maybe 10 to 15% of events we were leaving with like less than $250 each. But every time it happened, it sucked and it felt like I had worked really hard. My bartenders had worked really hard. Even the clients that we had worked for loved us and like were great. It just was like people didn't have cash on them, or people forgot to tip us, or stupid issues like not having Wi-Fi when we had a Venmo code out. So I was like, okay, something needs to change. And so I actually instilled tip minimums. By the way, I did not come up with this myself. There was another mobile bartending company in my state, you guys, that was charging a minimum of $250 per bartender every single time they went and did an event, and they were doing up to 9 events per Saturday, okay? So that being said, it was not something I just came up with out of the blue, like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna start doing tip minimums. No. It was something that I knew needed to happen for my business. Now, I know a lot of people will come on here and be like, well, why don't you just include it to your overall bill? The reason I don't include it to my overall bill is because if we have a tip jar out, okay, people are able to put money in this, which helps the client, okay, not have to pay. But if this tip jar doesn't reach $250 per bartender, then they're covering the difference. A lot of people love this. Normally it's not an issue, and I can gladly say at 85% of events, we don't usually have to tip, we don't usually have to send an invoice for the tips at all. But it's important to have it there so that my bartenders are able to make a good amount of money. And second of all, so that if someone, and this is huge, if someone doesn't want a tip jar put out at their event, we are actually able to just add it automatically to their bill, and then boom, my bartenders are making $250 in tips that night without a tip jar being out. Really important, you guys. If you want more information like this, make sure you hit follow. I'm always sharing information about how I run my mobile bar business and how it is literally maintained 6 figures year after year, getting events booked and having things like this in my contract.